Shalom, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Kakwadash. Double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his truth. Peace, love, and salutations to the hopeful Akim, teaching and preaching his truth with all righteousness and sincerity. Dizak Awasap. Today's lesson is entitled, So Many Issues Going On in Babylon the Great Right Now. And Lord willing, you be edified through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, the true names of the Heavenly Father, and his only begotten Son. And as always, the sit-downs, the lessons, the street speaking is for the remnant, the elect, the Israel, the Most High, unto you is the gospel preached. So you got so many issues going on right now, and it's all a part of end-time prophecy. And the part of end-time prophecies, it speaks about a time of trouble. Even our Lord Yahushua spoke about tribulation. In the prophets, the various prophets, they saw different things happening in the latter days that consist of these perilous times. And I wrote some down on this list here, and I'm going to read some off, and Lord willing, I'll pull a few up on Google, and of course, link it up to the scriptures. So you got the Title 42 ending, I want to say at midnight tonight. They say it ends May 11th, which Title 42 was a policy that they put in order to allow immigrants to come in. It's either to keep them back. Let me see. Let me look it up real quick. There's just so much stuff going on. You can't even keep up with everything. So you got Title 42. So let's look it up. What is Title 42 and what does it have to do with asylum? It's the ADL. And ADL is Anti-Defamation League. All right, you hear a lot of small hats, utilizing this system, but it's not just for them. It's for so-called all people, but they sing to the tune of the small hats. It says Title 42 has been in the news a lot these days. Images of immigrants and those seeking asylum at the U.S. border, often families with young children, populate our TV screens and social media feeds. What is Title 42 and what does it have to do with people seeking asylum? It says Title 42 is part of a Public Health Service Act, or a policy, of 1944, so it's been around for some time. Its purpose is to help prevent the spread of communicatable diseases in the U.S. responding to these different pandemics. Congress passed a law in 1893 that later became Title 42. The law gave the president authority to exclude people from certain countries during public health situations. According to Title 42, whenever the U.S. director of the CDC determines there is a communicable disease in another country, health officials have the authority, with the approval of president, to prohibit the introduction of persons and property from such countries or places. All right. So, they prevented people from coming over here due to threats in other countries in regards to different disease outbreaks. For as long as health officials determine is necessary, the authority was held by the U.S. Surgeon General until it was transferred to the CDC 1966. So that's the background. So let's read a little bit of this today. When people discuss the Title 42 today, they are usually talking about how the law has been used since C-19 emerged. In March 2020, the Trump administration activated Title 42. Title 42 gives U.S. Border Patrol the power to turn away people who are seeking asylum. So that's what Title 42 is, and it was put in place March 2020 under the Trump administration, and it basically prohibited immigrants, all right, from coming into Babylon the Great to get asylum. Now, asylum is a let's see, I pulled up a movie here. Let's look up asylum. Lord willing, this is edifying to the elect, so just bear with me. We got to understand these different things. Matter of fact, let's get a preset while that's loading real quick. Proverbs 4:7. It says, wisdom is the principal thing. Principal meaning chief above all. Therefore, get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So it's good to understand certain things that they speaking on. All right. You go into it just like I did. You get some information. You ain't got to be a scholar on it, but it's good to know basic information about what's going on. Because as we see these different things that's going on in the earth, we link it up with the prophecies. All right. Let's get another precept here in 2nd Esdras 9. And it says this, it says, he answered me then, this is Uriel speaking with Esdras, all right, and said, measure thou the time diligently in itself, and when thou seest part of the signs past which I have told thee. So there's going to be signs, there's going to be different things that we're going to be seeing done in the world. We got to be paying attention. We got to be upon our watch and looking upon the things that's coming upon the world, and then we measure it or we line it up with the prophecies. All right, and that lets us know what time and season that we're in. It says measure the time diligently. It says diligently. Why? Because you got to be consistent. It's always something happening. All right. So you got to be diligent. It's no days off. I mean, you take, days off, so to speak. You may not do a lesson that day, but you still watching news. You hearing breaking news. You may watch a couple of videos. You may read something, but we just continually on our watch as we're being diligently looking at the things that's coming upon the world. It says, then shalt thou understand that it is the very same time wherein the highest will begin to visit the world which he made. Therefore, when there shall be seen earthquakes and upwards of the people in the world, so there's going to be these events that happens. It says, then shalt thou well understand. It says, then shalt thou well understand. All right, it's all about understanding. And the Lord gives us that through the Spirit, that the Most High spake of those things from the days that were before thee. So everything that we see is found in the prophecies. Things is spoke, things was written down here in the book, and then they come to pass at the appointed time, even from the beginning. So, it's good to be on your watch, looking at different things that's going on. When you're looking at certain things, seeing words that you don't understand, look at them, look into them, get some understanding. Like we went into Proverbs 4 and 7. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. So here, asylum. It says the protection granted by a nation to someone who has left their native country as a political refugee. So, going back to the article, the Title 42 was to keep people from coming in here to get asylum. Now, what is is lifting on the 11th. Now, it could be at midnight tonight, which is the 11th, but that's one of the issues that's happening. And you can get so many, and it's not just so-called Mexicans that are coming in from Mexico. It's common knowledge that different people from various countries throughout the world can get into Babylon the Great by way of these borders. Some countries may not allow, them to travel to America. They may not be able to fly into America, but they may be able to fly into Mexico. And then from Mexico or Central America or South America, they can, have a caravan, which is what you see here, a whole bunch of people making their journey or exodus out of the country and into America to get asylum. All right. Remember, America is the home of the free. So, and a lot of people were seeing how detrimental this could be to the society. All right. The society is already suffering a financial crisis. Cost of living is ridiculous. You got inflation. And then these people, they come. And like I said, they're not just Mexicans. You got Lebanese. You got people from Africa. You got people from Ethiopia, Eritrea. You got even, various different immigrants coming here. It's not just Mexicans. All right, all the nations. And, they come here and then they get hired for cheap labor. You have what is called a labor trafficking. Okay, you have labor trafficking. Hold on one second. You have you have what is called labor trafficking, where you get people that round these people up, and then they have cheap labor. All right, which that destroys the economy, makes it harder for people to make a livable wage that is from here. So this could be a domino effect that can further put a strain on America's financial system. And we know that part of the end time prophecies speaks about trouble. Now we're gonna get into those precepts, but I'm just trying to build up the vibration through the spirit. So Lord willing, just hold on. So you got that going on, right? Title 42, and that's ending. It's ending on. Let's do this. May 11th, which today is May 10th. So it could be at midnight tonight, or however they do it. But once this ends, then these immigrants can flood into Babylon the Great, and then there'll be certain buses that'll drop them off to Chicago, Los Angeles, uh, Arizona, Texas, Miami, different areas, right? You got that going on. Going back to the title, so many issues going on in Babylon the Great right now. Then you have the situation with the debt ceiling, and this is kind of a news um, lesson. Several months ago, I was doing a series of news, prophecies, and current events. So this is kind of under that banner, and it's good to know what's going on in the world, man. As watchmen, you're supposed to be looking. As we were going into precepts earlier. Oh shit, ceiling. Not sure if I spelled that right. So the debt ceiling. All right. And over the history of Babylon the Great, you have so many of these debt ceiling situations where, they was defaulting, and then, they come in and they save the day at the last hour. Now, the reason why this is very heavy now is because, economically, America is in a very tough situation. As I was mentioning, you got inflation, you got the cost of living, you got the banking crisis. All right. You got all these different things that are weighing down heavily on the citizens. And if this lapse, then there's a lot of government assistance programs that won't get the funding in order to disperse to its recipients. You got Section 8, you got the whole county system, different county workers, so on and so forth. So we know at the end of the day that there's a new digital payment system coming. We often speak about the Fed Now, which is launching in July, which this is perfect timing, and we know that it's in Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, to take peace from the earth. Let's get a precept real quick just to keep the vibration of prophecy flowing. This is Revelation 6. And 4, it says, and there went out another horse that was red. Now, horse is synonymous with power. And this red horse is speaking about Esau. And as we read this precept, it draws parallels to the Edomites in a position of power, okay, and what they'll be doing. So it says, and there went out another horse that was red. Horse is synonymous with power. Red is Esau. When you read about the scarlet colored beast, all right, that's that red horse, okay. Basically, these Edomites in a position of power, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. So Esau's lot in the world, or his characteristic, okay, because we know who these Edomites are because of their characteristics. Yahweh Shai said a tree may be known by its fruit. The fruit is the manners, the characteristics, the behavior. So Esau is going to be in a position of power, and as he is in that position of power, he's going to be taking peace from the earth, and that they shall kill one another. It's about murder. And there was given unto him a great sword, going into the blessing that Esau was blessed with. Okay? So this has Esau's name written all over it. We don't need to physically see Esau. We go off the spirit. And the spirit in this verse has Esau's name written all over it. So Esau's role is to take peace from the earth. So when we see things about debt ceiling and the problems that it can yield forth if they don't take care of it, this pretty much has Esau's name on it. This is something that he wants to do, especially with this around the corner, the digital Fed payment system. Because they want to eventually segue to the next stage in the game, which is getting this in you, this implantable technology in you. There's so many articles, there's so many reports, there's so many videos on how this is the future of buying and selling, and it's in the prophecies. We speak about the MOTB, the charagma, and I'm referencing Revelation 13 verses 16 on down. And you see what this article says. It says MC Hippen employees, a rising trend in the future of work, and they presented it in the question because they're serpents. That's how the serpent roll. So let's read a little bit more in Revelation 6 because we get a lot of information. It says, when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse, and he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. Now these balances represents judgment. And that's what's going to be happening. A lot of judgment. These people that's flooding to America, they come in here to either they're coming here for two things. They're either coming here to get destroyed. They're going to take the MOTB because there's information and literature coming out that the people that come into Babylon the Great, this great city, in order for them to, go ahead and get and seek asylum, they got to be tracked. Okay? They got to be tracked. I don't know if it's going to be wristbands. I don't know if it's going to be collar tags. I don't know. We got to wait and see. We got to stand upon our watch and see what the Lord is going to tell us. Like it said in Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter. So we got to see. But these people is either coming for judgment or they're coming to hear the gospel, the knowledge, the wisdom, the understanding, and believe it and repent and convert, worship the true power, and get deliverance. Lord is doing a great work in these days. But, the pair of balances goes into judgment, the slavery, the different various things that, the Israelites have experienced. It says, and I heard a voice in the midst of the fourth beast say, a measure of wheat for a penny, then 3 measures of barley for a penny. See, thou heard not the oil and the wine. So the oil and the wine, I start there, represents this knowledge, this wisdom, this understanding. Okay, that's not going to get hurt. Okay, the truth endure forever, as it is written. Receive the engrafted word, which is able to save your soul. Now, why did they use oil and wine? Well, our Lord Yahushua said new wine can't enter into old bottles, lest they burst. Now, what was he talking about? He was talking about the gospel of the kingdom of heaven can't enter into people that's old and set in their ways. So he likened it unto wine. Wine maketh the heart merry. This truth is supposed to make you happy because you know the things that's going to surely come to pass, and you have the warning, the oil. Okay? When you read in Matthew the 25th chapter, it speaks about the 10 virgins. 5 were wise and 5 were foolish, and the foolish took no oil in their lamps. All right? So the oil represents this truth, this information. And this oil is what keeps your candles burning. We're supposed to be illuminated. Do you set a candle under a bushel? You set this candle on a hill so everybody can see it. And in order for that candle to stay burning, it got to have the oil in it. So this truth isn't going to get hurt. No matter what you Edomites try to do to suppress it, it's not going to get hurt. It's in the prophecies. Now, let's go into the part where it speaks about wheat and barley. A measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. What is that talking about? It's talking about inflation. And that's one of the issues that's plaguing Babylon the Great right now. And the Lord is sending plagues into Egypt again. Okay. Now, when we read this particular verse here in different versions, because we do go into different versions, but we rightly divide the word and truth because some of these versions, they do go off. So it says here in the NLT, New Living Translation, and I heard a voice from among the 4 living beings say, these are the angels, a loaf of wheat bread or 3 loaves of barley will cost a day's pay. So what's a day's pay today? You make it between $200 and $250 a day. That's good. You know, you'll be able to have your place, have your car, and you'll be able to do the things that you need to take care of yourself. So let's start there. Wheat and barley, these is, food that you get when you out in the, at the grocery stores or you at the farmer's market, which you should go to farmer's market, man. There's better selections there anyway. A Daily Mail, they just put a report on going into all these chemicals that's in the food here in Babylon. You want to be eating, protein and fruits and vegetables. That's it. All this other shit. They said it's salads with over 50 ingredients in it. Like, come on now, a salad. How does a salad got that many ingredients in it? I make salads, so I know I don't even put that many ingredients in mine. But the point is, your basic necessities is gonna cost so much, and that's another thing that's plaguing Babylon: food crisis and inflation. So let's keep reading. So speaking about inflation. And when he had opened the 4th seal, I heard the voice of the 4th beast say, come and see. And I looked and I beheld a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. These is characteristics of Esau. This pale horse and this red horse is Esau. Esau is associated with the end. These Edomites is the nation of people that's going to be ruling the earth before Yahushua comes. So when it's describing these different horses, is describing in this particular verse Esau being in the position of power, doing what the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai wants him to do. So as he's sitting on his horse, or he's in a position of power, all right, he's about death and hell. So he's about oppression. He's about bringing sorrows. He's about bringing these different crises. He's about bringing these different woes upon the earth. Now the Lord controls everything. Man's goings is of the Lord. How then shall a man understand his own way? The preparation is in the heart of man, and the answer of the tongue is of the Lord. It is not in man, or Yahweh, to know his way. All these different precepts. So a lot of the end time prophecies that we read, which Lord willing will be getting some in this lesson, the Lord is putting his spirit on Esau to do them. Let me have this on deck. So the Lord is having the spirit of Esau to do them. So back in Revelation 6 and 8, and we're going to get some more of these topics I got here on this list. And I look and beheld a pale horse, and his name that sat on him. Now, name is also your name is also associated with what you're going to be doing in the world. Name in the Hebrew is in the Greek, Salakia. Anoma. Entry 2. The name is used for everything which the name covers, everything the thought or feeling of which is aroused in the mind by mentioning, hearing, remembering the name, i.e., for one's rank, authority, interest, pleasure, command, excellences, deeds. So Esau, he's commanded by Yahweh Shai through the spirits. The Lord controls everything in the earth by way of the spirits. These left-handed spirits, because it speaks about Esau in Isaiah 47 using witchcraft. Okay. Esau powers on the left-hand side. There's spirits on the left-hand side that gives him intel to move. Just like with us. When you read Revelation 14 and it speaks about a everlasting gospel to preach upon them that dwell upon the world, the earth, the Lord is having this gospel go out. All right, this everlasting gospel go out through the mouths of the men that the Lord has the angels channeling that spirit through. This work is not of man, it's of the Most High. If this work be of man, it will surely come to naught. But if it's of the Most High, it will you cannot fight against it. Roughly paraphrasing. So the Lord is doing these things in the world because it's all about the prophecies. At the end of the day, death and hell followed him, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth. That's here, Babylon the Great, which is America, the Americas. And it says power was given to him. Now we know, pursuant to John, the 3rd chapter. Let's see if we can get this up. John chapter 3. Verse 27. Now, it says John answered and said, now this isn't talking about the author of this book. This is talking about John the Baptist, the great prophet. A man can receive nothing except it be given him from the Most High. From heaven. Okay, so when we're reading about this pale horse and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, who gave him the power? It's the Lord. The Lord gave these devils that power. See, now you're getting introduced to how the Lord works. The Lord deals with good and he deals with evil. See, Christianity has painted the false narrative that the God of the Bible is just some pushover and he's sweet and nice and all he does is love. But when you really get into these scripts and these precepts and you divide the word and truth and you really see the works of old, the Bible and the things that you read in the Bible doesn't line up with the teachings of the Christian church. The Christian church is loosely based off the Bible. Amos 3:6, shall a trumpet be blown in the city and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city and Yahweh have not done it? These are rhetorical questions. The Lord brings the evil. Let's see what the Lord did in Egypt. Psalm 78, verse 49. He cast upon them the fierceness of his anger, wrath and indignation and trouble by sending evil angels among them. The Lord is sending evil angels, which is angels on the left-hand side. Now, when you read about King Saul, it speaks about an evil spirit from the Lord came upon him. And that evil spirit was jealousy, and jealousy will move you to murder. Let's get another one. So y'all gonna know the terror of the Lord, man. The Lord is about that action. Wasn't his titles Alashadja, which means demon-like power? Isaiah 47, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. The Lord deals with both sides. He can make the peace and he can create evil. Let's look up this word create. Create goes back to the Hebrew word bara'ah, to create, shape, form, transformation. The Lord can put the spirit on somebody to change. They can transform. They can be cool and then they can be a demon by way of evil spirits.
I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all these things. All is 100%. He doing everything. Let's get some more. So many precepts we can go into through the Spirit. Proverbs, this is Solomon. He was the wisest man. Proverbs 16:4. The Lord have made, let me see what this word made. Is it bara? Oh, no. Pa'al. It says, Salakia, 1 second. The Lord, Yahweh, made all things for himself. Yeah. Even the wicked for the day of evil. And the Lord is going to be pulling out these tools out of his spiritual tool bag. And we're reading about it here in Revelation 6:8. And I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat on him was Death and Hell. It says, and his name that sat on him was Death, and hell followed with him. And power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth, the Americas, to kill with the sword, and with hunger, and with death, and with beasts of the earth. You read about those Boston Dynamic AI creatures. You know they got guns and all that type of stuff mounted on their backs. And shalom to the brother GMS in his likeness, the brother Damawath, shalom, believe the brother from Florida. Shalom. The water for sharing the video, bro. All right. So as we were going into fourth part of the earth, to kill with the sword and with hunger and with death. This got Esau's name written all over it. All right, because he set up to take peace in the earth, like we were reading in Revelation 6:4. So going back to the title, many issues going on in Babylon the Great right now. So we went into title 42 ending. You got the situation with the debt ceiling, and that can bring a lot of problems. Okay, a lot of financial instability. And as we were mentioning earlier, we know that this is on the way, the long-awaited Fed digital payment system. So everything is lining up. Esau, he gotta make his move, because when Esau is sitting down and he's having these different meetings, they know that, look, we got to get this, we got to get to the next level in the game. We got to get to the next stage. So the reason why he's having those thoughts, because he know that he had but a short time. This is Revelation 12:12. Therefore rejoice, ye heavens. The heavens represents the holy apostles and prophets. This is a time of us rejoicing, because as this system is going down, we're coming up. All right, gradually. Let's see what Solomon said in Ecclesiastes 1. Ecclesiastes, I start at 1, build up the vibration, the words of the preacher, the spokesman. All right, the word, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanities of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanities of vanities, all is vanity. Why was Solomon saying that? Because he knew the prophecies. Solomon, which he is Yahushua, he knew about the kingdom of heaven where dwelleth righteousness, an everlasting kingdom. Look, if we're not in the kingdom, all is vanity. All this shit is vanity. If we're not in the kingdom, all this shit is vanity. Only thing that'll profit you is fearing the Lord. Like he said, this is the conclusion of the matter: fear the Lord and keep the commandments. That's the only thing that'll profit you. Solomon was rich. He had all the substance, all the wisdom, all the women, and he still said vanity is vanity. All this shit is vanity. All this shit is stupid. Because we're not in the kingdom. We don't got those bodies. We don't have full power. What profit have a man all his labor which he taketh under the sun? Because he's going to die and get that shit up. None of that stuff follows you. When you die, all this labor that you taketh under the sun, it does not follow you. But you know what follows you? The work. Let's see what follows you. Let's see what's profitable. Revelation 14. In 13, and I heard a voice from heaven saying unto me, write. And this is how we got the Bible, because you had the angels through the commands of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai to give the prophets the visions. And when they saw these visions, they wrote them down. That's how we got the Bible. Blessed are the dead which die in the Lord from henceforth. Brothers that labored in the faith, they might have gotten old and died. All right. They died in the ministry. They died believing. They died with integrity. They died believing in Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. They're going to be blessed. Yeah. Saith the Spirit, that they may rest from their labors and their works do follow them. Like Solomon said, this is the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear the Lord, keep the commandments. So while you're doing that, those works will follow you, not building you up something in this world. Apostle Peter said in 2 Peter, the 3rd chapter, he saw a vision of this place being on fire and dissolved. So it's best to just push the truth. And the Lord will handle everything else on the back end for you. So now when we go back to Ecclesiastes, because I was kind of building up something, but I'm going through the Spirit. Ecclesiastes 1:3, what profit have a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? Here's the point. One generation passeth, and another generation cometh. Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. So one generation passes away. Esau is coming down. And as he's coming down, all right, he is understanding that he has but a short time. He's seeing another generation coming. You see the men of the Lord out there on the highways and the byways, starting with our teachers, our elders and apostles of Great Millstone. He's seeing another generation coming. He's seeing chariots, the ISS, the International Space System. They picking up all kind of videos of the chariots. People seeing them, recording them, putting them on YouTube. Then they got to scrub YouTube to get them out of there. All right. So on and so forth. So that fear is coming upon them. Like it say in Revelation 11, when we stood upon our feet, when the Lord put the Spirit on us, it said great fear fell upon them which saw them. So they seeing this generation coming up. But the earth abideth forever. The earth is going to always be here. The Lord have not created the earth in vain. I want to say that's in Isaiah 45. So going back to Revelation 12, because we're building up the vibration, because all this stuff that we see happening, the banking crisis, the cost of living, the inflation, the debt ceiling, the Title 42, the looming recession, all this stuff is, to bring the trouble upon the world and for Esau to, have this order out of chaos. We want to push this chip. So back in Revelation 12:12, it says, therefore rejoice, ye heavens. We're supposed to be rejoicing because we're that generation that's coming. We finna be up next. And ye that dwelled in them, the holy apostles and prophets. Woe, death and destruction, sorrow, calamity, and peril to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea. For the devil is come down unto you, having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. A short time for what? A short time to rule. He know his end coming. And we talking about the elites. But the pride in their heart have deceived them. They think they can offset prophecy. They think they can slow it up. But as they're seeing that they have a short time, they're going to be moving quick. And there's going to be a lot of errors on Esau's behalf as he's trying to move with haste. All right, because we seeing how sloppy Esau is moving. Here it is. We seeing the banking situation, and then here come Joe Biden. He talking about oh yeah, everything is all right, man. Your money is okay. But then we looking at the data and shit on the back end. We looking at the data and all this different stuff. People's withdrawing their money out of the banks. And I was at the bank. We got the WhatsApp, with the bros. So, we do the field reports. If we out and about and we see certain things, we go to the, the chat and we do the live reports right there. So I was at the bank and long ass lines, and there was the lady that came out. This is Bank of America. The lady came out and said, hey, the systems are down globally. You know, this was what, last Wednesday. This was last Wednesday. She was like, yeah, our systems are down nationwide. Our systems are down. You know, only thing is working is the ATMs. You couldn't go in there and do nothing in the bank. You know, the ATM, you can only pull out 1,000. So, you know, I reported that in the chat and I asked her, I'm like, hey, how long, you know, has this, you know, been going on? It just happened. And it was what, about 11 o'clock in the morning. And then I asked her, you know, how long have you been working here? She said, you know, a year. And I asked her, have this ever happened within the year you've been working here? And she said no. All right, so this was a major situation. No, I didn't see no reports on it. I saw different forums of people speaking about, hey man, what's going on with Bank of America, but none of the major media outlets spoke on it. You know, so people were seeing like, wait a minute, what's up with this bank shit? But then you got Biden coming out saying, oh no, everything is cool, yada yada yada, right? But here in Proverbs 14 and 29, it says, he that is slow to wrath is of great understanding. This is a fruit of the spirit you want to have, right? It says, but he that is hasty of spirit exalteth folly. Hasty meaning impatient. So as Esau, knowing that he had but a short time, and he's going to come down with wrath, he's going to have a spirit of haste, right? And he's going to exalt folly. You know, he ain't gonna be able to do it like he used to. You know, that's why Job said people is gonna come up against him. And brother got so many precepts. That's why Job said so many people is gonna be coming up against this devil. Job 20:20. Surely he shall not feel quietness in his belly. These Edomites is bugging out in the mind. He shall not save of that which he desired. He ain't gonna get what he want. There shall none of his meat be left, his aid, his assistance. He's sending so much money over there to Ukraine. I just read that they just approved 1.2 billion in additional funding to Ukraine. The American dollar is getting so weak. Ain't nobody gonna want to eat of his meat. Ain't nobody gonna want to do any policies or trade deals with this money. This money is becoming worthless. People is coming. Different countries is getting their own digital banking system. Different countries is making their allies and alliances and trying to see what the gold doing, the silver. Therefore shall no man look for his goods. They ain't gonna want to do no deals with these Edomites. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Why? Because he gonna be exalting folly. He gonna be doing stupid shit. And he gonna be in a position of difficulty. He got all this stuff happening over here. Title 42 in the debt ceiling, inflation, cost of living, banking crisis, homelessness, a STI pandemic, looming recession, and so many you got mass shootings, and you got Jake arguing for reparations. So you got all this different shit happening over here. It says, when he is about to fill his belly, his desires of his mind, the Most High shall cast fury upon his wrath upon him, and shall rain upon him while he is eating. So while he's eating, he not even finished his meal. He didn't even chip everybody. The Most High gonna destroy him. Oh wait, number 22. Slacky, I missed a point. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Now, and as always, we go into this word wicked. It's not talking about the Edomites. When you go into this word wicked, it goes back to the Hebrew word aimal, which goes to laborer, sufferer, wretched one, the workman. People gonna be coming up against him. And let's read about what they're gonna be doing when they come against him. And here over here in 2nd Esdras 15. 2nd Esdras 15, 2nd Esdras 16. It's all Jacob's trouble, end time prophecy. Let me see. We want to start from the top, but for the sake of time, we want to hit these points. 2nd Esdras 15, 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein. We read about that in Revelation 12. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth. All the prophets saw these end time prophecies. For the sword and their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. So people's going to be having these weapons in their hands. That's why Esau got these mass shootings. Esau got these mass shootings, whether they plan or whether he's being an opportunist of these people that's doing them. What he's planning to do is take the guns away. But the prophecies say, hey, people gonna have weapons in their hands. The sword, the modern day sword, is ultimately the ICBM missile, but you cannot exclude handguns and firearms from that. Verse 16, there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. Remember, we read in Job, every the laborers, we went into that word, the wicked, which is Imal, shall come upon him, come upon this system. People gonna have these weapons and they're gonna be taking matters into their own hands, because people ain't finna be working these jobs. People ain't finna be playing with these grocery stores, talking about some they ain't got no food. They're gonna be going to the 18-wheelers. They're gonna be going in people's houses. Verse 16, there shall be sedition among men and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes. In the course of their actions shall stand in their power. They're gonna come up against him. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. They talking about 15, 20-minute cities. The checkpoints. Your passport, bros. This ain't the time to be traveling. Your ass to be assed out over there in Thailand with no money. You don't know what's going on. For their pride, for because of their pride, the city shall be troubled. The houses shall be destroyed. Men shall be afraid. But what about the women? They're going to be ravished. Isaiah 13, prophecies about Babylon. 16, 15, to build up the vibration. Everyone that is found shall be thrust through, and everyone that is joined unto them shall fall by the sword. You join into the system by taking that MOTB, you're going to fall by the sword. Their children also shall be dashed to pieces before their eyes. Their houses shall be spoiled. We just read about it, 2 Esdras 15. Their wives ravished. So while the men is being afraid, the children are being dashed to pieces, their houses is being spoiled or invaded, and their wives being raped. Right? So I went into a lot of information. You know what I mean? Just various different things that you want to look for as you stand upon your watch. I'm going to read some of these precepts that the beloved brother Damawaf put on there. Zephaniah 1:17. I will bring distress upon men that they shall walk like blind men because they have sinned against Yahweh. And their blood shall be poured out as dust and their flesh as the dung. There's going to be so much death out here. It's going to be motherfuckers dead all over the place. Just like you see dog shit all over the place, tucked in bushes, just right there in the middle of the street. You got to step over it, right there on the little patch of grass. That's how people going to be out here, man. Bro, got some more heat. Ecclesiastes 7:4. The heart of the wise is in the house of mourning. It's best to be in the truth. But the heart of fools is in the house of mirth. That's not where you want to be in. You don't want to have that party and bullshit spirit, man. You'll be blind out here. Ezekiel 7:5. Thus saith Yahweh, evil and only evil, behold, is coming. It's only bad times coming. An end is coming. The end is come. The end associated with Esau going down. And as he's going down, he's going to see that he have a short time. And he's going to come with great wrath. And part of that wrath is destroying this system to push his digital system. And watch it for thee daily. Behold, it coming. Man, these prophecies, man, when you get into them, man, they terrible. Fearful. Most I ain't playing no games with these prophecies. Isaiah 24:11. There's a cry for wine in the streets. All joy is dark and the mirth of the land is gone. Man, the Lord finna change this shit up and people gonna want answers to their questions and they're not gonna find none. Why? Because of the famine of the word that's gonna take place. They shall seek the word of the Lord and they shall not find it. All right, so I'm going to leave it at that. Lord willing, was edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, double honors to our elders and apostles of Great Millstone that taught us his true Shalom. Wa Abad Babal.